Good morning, and welcome back to Archeage 101. I am Jalan.
I am Groot.
No Groot, I am Jalan, and I'm the leader of the Paradox Guild on Sulphira. If you're on Sulphira and you need something, you can send me a whisper or an in-game mail. Outside of game, you can head over to our webpage, where we're currently working on our guides in anticipation for the 3.5 patch. We also try to keep up to date with Archeage news and Sulphira server news. Or you can go ahead and send us an email at the address below. During yesterday's Archeage 101 Part 1 video, I went through several topics very quickly just to give new players a passing familiarity of all the features Archeage has to offer. Today I want to get into some very specific points of the game. The topic I've chosen for today is really the labor system, the crafting system, and the benefits of using Apothecary Houses. The labor system employed by Archeage is a very unique system unlike most other games. In other games, if you want to go gathering, you simply go gathering, and if you want to hit 50 mining nodes or 5,000 mining nodes, you can do that. In Archeage, it's a little bit different. You have a pool of energy known as labor. Every action you take in the game, short of killing monsters or just exploring the world, uses labor. If a mob drops an item, you have to identify it. If you want to cut down a tree, you have to have labor. Specifically yesterday, I spoke about the advantage patrons have versus non-patrons. Patrons have a cap of 5,000 labor. They regen 10 labor every 5 minutes, whether offline or online. Where non-patrons have a cap of 2,000 labor, they only regen 5 labor every 5 minutes, and they have to be online to do it. To do a little public math here, so that you can understand how much labor you're going to get each day as a patron, there's 24 hours in a day, times 60 minutes in an hour, and that gives you 1,440. Because you earn labor on a 5-minute interval, you divide 1,440 by 5, and you get 288 intervals. Since you get 10 labor per interval, you end up every day getting 2,880 labor. My advice is to never log off with more than 2,840 labor. I say this because I'm going to assume you're going to return to the game every 18 hours, after school, after work, whatever have you. Because you earn 2,880 labor a day, you never want to be at that 5,000 cap. If you're at the 5,000 cap, you're literally throwing labor away every 5 minutes. If you're not going to be around for a few days, but you can still log in for a minute or two, a very quick and easy way to burn labor is by making tax certs. So as I said, the easiest way to burn off extra labor is to just make tax certificates. Now as you can see, as I'm running around somebody's property, I can go to any piece of property and they all have a plaque on them. Some of them are higher than others. So here's the building plaque. And what I want to do is I want to hit use machines or tools. And it's going to pop this box. Now I'm going to talk about tax certificates and land expansion certificates in another video when I talk about property. But for right now, you can see if I wanted to burn my labor, I could burn it on bound tax certificates or unbound. As a new player, you don't have the proficiency to make unbound tax certificates, but you can make bound ones. I also want you to notice this here, required labor 300. Remember this because in just a few minutes I'm going to show you a different character with a different required labor. So if I was logging off for the night, I would simply decide how many I wanted to make and hit craft. Now, the single most important question new players have, whether they're patron or not, is how do I get more labor? I can easily burn through 20,000 labor in a day if I'm making a lot of weapons and armor for people. I happen to be fortunate enough to own property, and I own a bed. So the bed itself, I can sleep in it for 8 minutes, and I get 150 labor. I also have a full pajama set, which gives me a bonus 250. So every day I can get 450 labor. I know that math doesn't add up right now, but I have an additional 50 labor item that isn't possible to get in game right now. So Sleeping in a bed or sleeping with pajamas, that gets you labor. You can also use a labor pot or other consumables. Now in the lower left-hand corner, I've posted out of the loyalty shop 2 different workers' compensations. The large labor potion costs 35 tokens, the bound workers potion costs 25 loyalty tokens, and the truth is they both restore 1k labor. The reason why the large is 10 loyalty tokens higher is because it's not bound, and you could trade it around other characters. This is going to become important when and if you start running alts. Next in the middle is the hangover cure. Some events in the game, especially around holidays, will have very small labor pots in the event reward chests or the event reward machine. So the hangover cure comes from the annual Rum Runner event, and the Master Chocolatier's Pumpkin is a treat we get around Halloween time. The next topic I'm going to talk about is the Proficiency System. Archeage follows a pretty standard MMO grouping for skills. You have harvesting skills, crafting skills, and miscellaneous skills. So when we come into game and we hit K, it'll bring up our proficiency window. And this shows us all the different things that we can specialize in. You'll notice here at the bottom that you can take 2 harvesting, 3 crafting, and 2 miscellaneous up to the highest proficiency limits. As you start to level up your proficiencies, you start to receive a bonus at every level. So as you can see, at novice rank, you get a 20% increase, but a 0% labor reduction cost. By the time you get to the famed level, you have a 40% labor cost reduction and 230% XP increase. So how do you get proficiency? For every 1 labor you spend doing something from that proficiency, you will receive 1 point of proficiency in that skill. For example, if you're out in the world and you come across a mining node and you mine it, you will expend 10 labor. You will then receive 10 proficiency. My personal advice is to focus on 1 family of skills. And what I mean by that is take a harvesting skill and a crafting skill that complement each other. As you can see, you have mining in the upper part of the proficiency window. This is a harvesting skill. When you mine, you're going to get the standard MMO resources, iron, copper, gold, stone, and some gems. Now, if I'm going to primarily be mining, then I want to most certainly level my metalworking and leveling my masonry. I want to be able to take my iron ore and I want to be able to turn it into iron ingots. And I want to be able to take my raw stone and I want to turn it into stone brick. The reason why is the secondary products, those finished products, the iron ore and the stone brick, they're always going to sell for higher than raw materials because you've invested labor in them. To give you a look at a character that has a number of maxed proficiencies, this is what it will look like when a proficiency is upgradable. It's blue highlighted with the arrow up. Also, as you can see when I pull up my rank details, I have more options down the line than that lower level character did. The reason for this is I've used several increases. Because I need 5 snowflakes, I've actually used 4 increases. I generally just prefer to stay on 1 account to do everything. That way if I have to drop what I'm doing, I can get there right away. I don't have to waste time logging over. There are some people that do it differently. They don't ever want to have to buy snowflakes, so they use different characters on the same account to do different things. I actually do this with 1 skill. I have an alt that is my cook, but an important thing to remember is your labor pool is shared across all characters on the account. So where you saw that alt had 30,000 carpentry, 30,000 labor of mine from Jalan has actually gone into that alt. So specialization is the key, not only because it gives you more XP, but because you then don't have a number of low proficiency skills. Now, The final topic inside of proficiency itself is the benefit of 230,000 proficiency. Every single one of these abilities has something you can do at 230,000. Specifically, the tax certificate thing. At 230,000, you can make an unbound tax cert that you can sell on the auction house. But remember I told you to remember that 300 labor? Look at the difference in labor now that I'm on a character with max proficiency. That's 120 labor difference. That's the reason why people can be land barons. That's why people can own estates. As you see, everything you see I own on different characters. So construction to 230 is a very important one. Other things in alchemy, to make the top tier healing potion or top tier mana potion, you need 230,000. Everything has something. If you need thunderstruck trees, where is it? Logging improvement, 230,000 to make Skyreach woodlots. So getting to 230,000 proficiency as quickly as possible really does have its benefits. The final subject I want to talk about today is the benefits of apothecary houses. An apothecary house is a building that has been upgraded so that it specializes in the production of alchemy potions, food, and bonus spellbooks. So in Rookborn Basin, right there on the Sulphura server, you will find a public apothecary house that I own, and it will always be on public. So the first benefit of apothecary houses is that if the owner of the house has put the bonus items, and you can see if they have by coming to the plate on the house, and you click this boosts button, you can see that your proficiency in cooking and alchemy starts off at already 20,000 just by using this house. So when I head back upstairs, secondly, if you have the proper proficiency, you do not have to go through all the steps. Normally in alchemy, if you wanted to make healing potions, you would have to start with an afternoon sun and make solar glows, celestial rays, comet flares, burning auras, rising phoenix, and nui novas. Now, if you did that and you walked those potions up all the way, it would end up costing you 69 labor. Well, the benefit is, if you come to a apothecary house, you can make 10 count of the top potion for just about the same labor, but in the click of just one button. So I'm going to come over here, and if luck is on our side, I will proc the secondary benefit. So let us try. And on the first shot, as you see, this recipe calls for the result to be 10 Kraken's Mites. But if you come down here, it took the right amount of products. It took 35 cornflower, 35 aloe, 20 poppy, but it gave me 20 Kraken's mites. This is what's known as a proc. Apothecary houses have the opportunity to proc double on anything you make. So if you're going to go through the process of making potions or food or spellbooks anyway, you might as well do it at an apothecary house and hopefully get twice as much for your money. And that concludes Archeage 101 Part 2. To recap, today we talked about labor and how to get more of it. We talked about the proficiency system, specifically the rank details and benefits to upgrading. That's the reduced labor and the bonus XP. We talked about what to do if you run out of upgrades, and that's using a snowflake. We talked about the benefits of max level proficiency, and that's the ability to make those items that require 230,000 to do, most notably your tax certificates. And then we talked about the benefits of using apothecary houses, and as you just saw, the biggest benefit is that you can double proc, so twice as many items for one source of supply. I want to remind everybody about the Paradox giveaway. If this video was helpful, please like and subscribe. If you're from Sulphura, Put your name in the comments below. Get a friend. You've already seen this at the beginning. And that's everything for today. I am Jalon.
I am Groot.
Bye, Groot.